Hello everyone. I'm gonna show you quickly how to make a ton of money with your clothing brand. This is exactly how agencies such as Brez, all these brand scalers that you see online are able to scale brands to make them 6 figures, even 7 figures sometimes. It's not rocket science. It literally requires a sequence. A lot of people are gonna come online and say, it's gonna take 6, 7, 8, 9 years in order to become successful with a clothing brand. It can be done in a couple of months if you have the right things. Now, one thing I want to reiterate here is that if you do not have the attention span, if you have the attention span of a rich tea biscuit, then please leave the video alone now, because you will not understand anything I'm saying and you will be fucking poor and broke for the rest of your life. But if you're interested in anything I'm saying right here, I'm going to show you the exact framework we use for our clients, because I also run a consulting company and we take our brands from 4, even 5 figures to 6 figures. They make 100K. I'm going to show you the exact framework. It's so fucking simple. Dead ass, it's so simple. So yeah, let's cover it. Now, I'm going to be honest here. We have this whole sequence where we have all this methodology that we make these guys so much money. But I'm not going to go over all this because this is kind of the breakdown that we do and it just takes such a long time to explain it. I'm going to go over a more simplified manner and just show you literal examples, break it down in the most simplest way so you get the concept and so you guys can start making a fuck ton of money with your clothing brand. The first thing I want to say is that clothing brands are not a get rich quick scheme, but at the same time it doesn't take that fucking long to get decently rich. A lot of people are going to be like, damn, you need like 10 years before you become rich. It doesn't have to take that long if you know what the fuck you're doing. So the number one most important thing here is proof of concept. You need to have proof or evidence, quote unquote, that your product is actually working or your thing is actually working. If you own a clothing brand right now, one thing you're gonna have to realize is you're gonna need to be a bit biased on which clothes are going to succeed and which clothes aren't. Yes, you might have 10 tracksuits. Yes, you might have 5 different pieces, but one product, there's always just going to be one product that's always going to sell out more than the others. Like, this, right? Yes, you might have 2 that might split test, and you can split test 2, and yes, they might clash against each other and sell, but let's be real, you're always gonna have one product that just outsells everything in your fucking website. Now, there are 4 main things that you need in order to actually make a fuck ton of money, so let's go over it. Number 1, scale math. Now, the biggest enemy in clothing brands is not the offer, it's not the ad, it's the damn cash flow. You guys struggle with cash flow so much. Startup capital costs, all this bullshit. Like, it takes so long to make a decent amount of money because the cash flow is just ass. You could have 1,000, like if your gross margins are like anything between 30 to 50%, you're just absolutely fried. For our clients, we have this sheet, and this is something you're gonna need too, right? So if you're doing anything from 4 figures, right, you should already know what your average order value cost is. You should know your conversion rates, your monthly website sessions. You should be able to know the whole system, and especially your overheads as well. That's a big thing. But you should be able to know a whole system that goes over every single important metric. So we have the payment processing fees, your shipping, your return rate, your average cost per return, all these different things, your customer acquisition cost. If you're deciding to run ads, because this is specifically for ads, organic is only going to take you so far. I want to make this clear. You're not going to get that far with organic. But if you do not have a system, right, because we have the sequence that shows you or that tracks all these important metrics out of everything in the business, you're not going to be able to make any money. So what we do for our clients, we input all this, all this data into a, we have this whole system. I'm not going to show you everything because, people pay for this, but obviously I'm not going to show you everything. But if you are interested, once again, you can DM me on Instagram, see what we do. But once again, look, we have all these important metrics to track it. Now, once we've input all this data, it gets immediately sent to another sheet, which automatically calculates your unit economics and your contribution margin. Now, if you're a clothing brand owner and you do not know your contribution margin, then you're probably not taking this brand serious. Your contribution margin is the thing that's going to contribute to damn near everything, right? To your ads, to the people you want to pay for, to your profit. Like, it's so important that you know what your contribution margin is. Once we've identified, oh, what's your contribution margin, this gives us a very good indicator on exactly what we need to do to scale. So we have this another and this is something you need to build as well. You have this another sequence, another system that literally gives us a direct, like, bro, like, it's so flipping clear on everything. So we have the current CAC, safe CAC, break even CAC, CAC risk status that moves according to the amount they're moving at, or like if their products or their profits, like, because we calculate their margins, scaling, we've probably saved them like 8 to 12 months, right, of just cracking their head and making no money, right? And these guys can comfortably take risks and spend thousands, if not hundreds to thousands of dollars in ad spend because they know that their money is going somewhere reasonable. So you need to first be able to do what we call scale math. This is where you calculate your numbers. You calculate your contribution margin. You calculate your average order value. You calculate all these important metrics, because this is what these agencies like Brez be doing. Like, you think they just run ads on businesses? No, they actually have a system that shows them every single important thing. Now, the second thing is organic volume. And one thing I would like to go back with this system, the reason why we make money so quick is because this shit saves so much time. Like, all you need to do is, like, we just punch in some numbers. It tells us what their contribution margin is. We know what numbers we need to fix. We fix them, then we run ads and they make money. It's literally just a feedback loop of fixed numbers, feedback loop of fixed numbers. Once numbers are fixed, run ads, check numbers again, fix them, run ads, check numbers again, and we just make so much money. Okay, so yeah. Now the second thing is organic volume. I want to make this clear. If you're doing like 1 to 2K to 3K to 4K to 5K per month with your clothing brand all in revenue, okay, you already have organic volume. Now I'm not gonna lie here, bro. Like, whether you think that maybe doing organic is the move forever, maybe, but I've not seen many brands go that far with organic. It's rare. In fact, organic marketing in 2026 is probably the dumbest shit ever. Everyone is moving to paid acquisition, and the only reason, let's be real, why you don't want to run ads is because you think you're not going to get return on your ad spend, or you feel like you're going to waste your money. But the thing is, ads are not your enemy. They're actually your benefactor. What they do is that they are a distribution system. If you have organic volume, and I'm just going to give this example of this brand, right? If you have a decent amount of organic volume and some traction, you'll be able to scale the brand profitably. Let me just show you an example. So I picked up this brand. I've been following them. They're in the UK, called Vision, okay? They do insane. But like, look, if you look at their views, obviously views aren't a direct metric of how many sales you have, but just to reiterate, so what we do for our clients as well, before a drop, during a drop, or after a drop, whenever they post a video, they put it into this data set, and what happens, it forecasts into a sale. So they literally get a forecast based off the views, the likes, the comments, the link clicks, inquiries, to forecast how much likely they're going to sell, and it takes 10 minutes. The reason why, and you might be thinking, well, obviously this isn't 100% accurate. Well, duh, it's not 100% accurate. But what it is, it serves as a good metric to be able to determine what content is doing good and what content can be better, right? And if they're able to identify what content is doing good, they can do that every single time. So let me just show you. Now, with this brand, for example, they're averaging 5-figure views. There's no way if they drop, for example, 100 pieces, they're not going to sell out, right? They've got a lot of people. They got people in SMS lists. They got DMs. There's just proof of concept. They have people wearing the clothes. There's, even on TikTok, as you can see. On Instagram, they've got, what do they have on Instagram? On Instagram, they have 29K. I drew that out. On TikTok, they have 45K. Look at the views, damn near almost 5 figures. Like, you can see there's proof of flipping concept, right? They don't even have a bio. God damn, there's motion, right? So you need organic volume. You need to be able to prove that there is enough. You need to be able to show that there is enough demand for your product. If no one actually wants to buy your product, I'm sorry, pal, no one is going to buy your product. So don't even think about running ads on your brand if you're just gonna spend like $100 every month, or you're gonna spend like $5 every day. You wouldn't spend $5 every day if you was making like 50 sales every day, or 20 sales every day, or 10 sales every day, right? You'd be spending more. Like, don't get me wrong. If your hand is too stingy to let go of money and then put it towards ads, you're not going to make money with this brand. Okay. So once you have organic volume, the next step, automatically, yes, you can continue to push organic, but what about retargeting the same customers that wanted to buy but didn't? Most of the sales you're going to generate are not going to be from brand new customers that have never seen your brand. They're going to be from people who have seen every single video over and over and over again, that have probably seen all these, like, let's say for example, they've seen all these videos, right? And then they see an ad to prompt them to buy with a crazy offer, right? And I'm going to go over that in a minute, but yeah, like, once they see the offer, they're going to buy. Like, goddamn, they're gonna buy. And the same thing with TikTok. People are gonna be messaging on TikTok, like, what's the prices? Like, there's just so much organic volume. Why won't they sell out? Now, the next thing is a good effing website. Oh my god, this is non-negotiable. You will not make no money with your brand if you do not have a good website. I'm just gonna quickly show you, for example, like, I've been looking at this brand, so I'm gonna show you what their website looks like. So here's an example of a somewhat decent website. I'm not gonna lie, this picture and the thing, like, it's kind of annoying. It's kind of overly big. Okay, let's check out mobile. On mobile, it's fine because it's quite small, so they don't lose conversions on mobile. But if this was on just the on the PC, like, yeah, this is kind of like annoying. They have a lookbook here. They have a bunch of pictures. Like, look at this. This is fire. Like, proof of concept. You could just tell people are buying this shit. So look, let's look at the catalog. Super simple. Like a good website isn't hard. They have a simple catalog with their pictures. A lot of people like to make their fucking like their brands or their pages like it's some crazy breakdown of just like, like they're swiping up, swiping down, and there's just these blow effect. Like, I promise you, you're gonna lose so much conversions because of how much time you waste. Okay, like, look, right now they're doing an anniversary thing. This thing is sold out. Like, look, this motherfucker sold out. Look at that. Boom. Like, look at this, right? It's super simple to get this. Like, it's just super flipping simple. And if I wanted to buy it, checkout, I go to my cart. Look at this. Super simple, right? And all of this is a non-negotiable, because if you do not have a good site and your site is like hard to navigate, like, if I'm trying to click on the product and it doesn't work, or like, you won't make any sales, right? A lot of the money you're going to make are just are from simple things like this. They're not from, people seeing the product and being like, wow. No, they're from people seeing the product and they can actually flip and get it. Trust me, it's super, super important, right? Now, the final thing is a good offer. One thing I want to make very, very clear, I've said this in a TikTok video, a good offer is going to take you way farther than anything else. One mistake that a lot of people make when they're running ads or whenever you're running ads is that you try to just push out your content there, or you just make a video with people wearing the clothes and you're like, buy now. No one's gonna effing buy, right? People don't buy. People buy because they see something and they can probably take advantage of it. You need to psychologically trick your audience into thinking they can get more. For example, this is an ad I was looking at before, right, for another brand that says summer sale up to 60% off. I like these clothes. If I'm getting up to 60% off, what can I get 60% off for these clothes, right? A good way, for example, so boom, this is how it works. So you make two ads. One ad, for example, with the summer sale, something quite simple like this. They see this, they'll click on it, they'll go add to cart. Now, if they don't add it to cart, what you do is that you will take what they've added to cart. So you take this product, for example, and then you put this product out, and then you put an offer on it. So like 30% off, 30% off this offer. And then what they'll remember is, oh shit, wait, I added this thing to cart. Let me go back to the website and buy it. It's 30% off. Boom, you just made a sale. Like, a good offer is so important. The methodology that we use in order to create a good offer, I'm just going to quickly show you. Like, we have this kind of sequence. Now, I'm not going to go into detail because once again, like, this video is not about explaining offers, it's explaining how you can make a lot of money. But for example, what you want to define here is an IAO. An IAO is an irresistible acquisition offer. And this offer essentially is a non-negotiable offer that ensures they buy the product. Your offer needs to do one thing, it needs to stop the scroll. And this is kind of a bottom of funnel content. So you need to be able to make an ad or a piece of content that actually stops them from scrolling. Like, you'll be like, oh wait, I'm actually stopping my scroll. Like, I'm actually paying attention to this. And your ad needs to serve three purposes. It needs to serve curiosity, consideration, and conversion. The first time they see the ad, they should be curious. The second time they see the ad, they should consider getting it, added to cart. And the third time they should buy. Okay, it's literally just that simple. So yeah, that's literally how you're gonna make an F ton of money with your clothing brand. Like, I've just explained the methodology. It's not that complicated. If you're already making sales, you're already doing like 4 or 5 figures, the next thing you need to do is just run paid acquisition. But the only reason why you might be afraid to run ads is because you feel like your money is going to be wasted. And that's exactly where we come in. Like, it's so important that you have systems like this that be able to track every single thing, because you'll be able to forecast how much money you're going to make. Like, for example, if you're tracking your revenue versus your customer acquisition cost, this is some of our systems, right? You'll be able to know how much you're making and how much you're losing, right? Like, for example, like, look, like Brez, all these people that have these agencies, they all have a system. Yes, mine doesn't look the exact same, but they all have the same thing. Like, it's not rocket science here, right? They're able to profit. Like, look at this. They know the profit they're making per day. Why? Because they have a damn system. The reason why you're struggling, or the reason why ads are not working for you, is not because ads are shit. It's just because you don't know shit. That's literally it, right? You don't know what's working and what isn't working. So that's how you make an F ton of money with your clothing brand. If you are all interested in to see what we do and you own a clothing brand for 4 to 5 figures and you're just like, damn, like, I really want to scale this thing and I really want to make a lot of money, bro, DM me. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's get on the call. And yeah.